Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 28th October 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. For mains purpose and for prelims purpose, some important articles related to economics and international relations. Let us try to understand them and take input for our examination. So first article on page number 6, editorial page. India's DISCOM stress is more than the sum of its past. The context of the article here is the present health of our distribution companies, DISCOMs. They are related to distribution of power or electricity, we can say that. And these states regulated DISCOM or state established by state governments, we can say that. So these DISCOMs are having, we can say, or they are loss making, they have huge amount of debt, and therefore what are the other, along with other issues that are faced by these DISCOMs. This is what the article is discussing. At the same time, it is giving some way forward also. Okay, so it becomes important for our mains examination, GS3 paper, economy. So yes, let us try to understand what is given in the article. Issues and challenges faced by DISCOMs. Distribution companies, DISCOMs, have been called the linchpin, but also the weakest link in electricity chain. They are the utilities that typically buy power from generators and retail these to the consumers. Okay, so in electricity, there is link. Here, suppose these are generators or generators of electricity. For example, thermal power plants. Then the generators sell this power to DISCOMs, various DISCOMs. These are distribution companies, and then it reaches to the final consumer from this DISCOMs. Okay, so direct generator is not selling to the consumers. So rather the generators are giving or selling their power to or electricity to DISCOMs, and then in turn DISCOMs are selling to the consumers at retail level. Okay, so this is the link. Fine. Indian government responded to COVID-19 economic shock with stimulus package of 20 lakh crore, out of which 90,000 crore was earmarked for DISCOMs. Later it was upgraded to 1,25,000 crore. Fine. So while it was called the stimulus, it is really a loan meant to be used by DISCOMs to pay off generators. The government's prapti, payment ratification and analysis in power procurement for bringing transparency in invoicing of generators portal shows the DISCOMs due to the generators. However, what is not widely appreciated is that the portal is voluntary compilation of dues and not a comprehensive. Okay, so voluntary, that is by generators, they voluntarily provide whatever the dues there are there. What has happened over the years is that DISCOMs have delayed their payments upstream, not just to the generators but others as well. In essence, treating payables like an informal loan. Basically, they are delaying continuously the payment, considering it as an informal loan, which does not have any kind of, we can say, the interest to be paid because of that delayed time. But why do DISCOMs not pay on time? So conventional, let's say, reasons or wisdom blames the utilities for inefficiency, including high losses called aggregate, technical and commercial losses. Okay, A, T and C losses, जिसको ये typical technical term हम बोलेंगे जब भी हम electricity loss या power losses की बात करते हैं, right? The term that spans everything from theft to lack of collection from the consumers. However, this is only an incomplete explanation. So in addition to this AT&C losses, ideally they should not incur losses as they enjoy regulated rate of return. While AT&C losses can explain part of any gap, the first problem starts at the regulatory level, where even if DISCOMs performed at the targeted across India, they would face a non-trivial cash flow gap. This is the problem actually at regulatory level itself. Then we have the severe challenge of payables to the DISCOM. So this is the first challenge. Second is, let's say, challenge of debt or payables. These are due to three types. First, regulators themselves have failed to fix cost reflective tariffs and thus creating regulatory assets. Second, about a seventh of the DISCOM's cost structure is meant to be recovered through explicit subsidies by state government that are not, let's say, given on time. And third, consumers owed DISCOMs over 1.8 lakh crore in 2018-19 booked as trade receivables. So from consumers, from state government, and from, we can say, regulatory authorities, regulatory level, all these are the challenges. The state governments are the biggest defaulters, responsible for an estimated of third of trade receivables, besides not paying subsidies in full or on time. So we can say that that is the main problem. COVID-19 has completely shattered incoming cash flows to the utilities. Now this is the recent challenge, we can say, in the COVID-19 era. While there was a multi-month dip in the demand, the revenue implications were far worse, since the lockdown disproportionately impacted revenues from short-term paying customers, commercial and industrial segments. So they are the larger, let's say, paying customers for the DISCOMs. However, because of shutdown during the lockdown period after COVID-19 pandemic, what happened is there was complete, let's say, stoppage of all the economic activities, industrial activities, and therefore no consumption of electricity, and therefore no payment of payment to the DISCOMs by these important customers. Rise of renewable energy means that premium customers will leave the system partly first by reducing their daytime usage, and as battery technologies mature, their dependence on DISCOMs may wane entirely. So, for example, independent rooftop solar, let's say, plant is there. Suppose if industries adopt such kind of renewable energy plants, then what happens is their dependence on DISCOMs reduces, and this is going to be the increasingly new picture, and therefore the importance of DISCOMs may completely wane out. Way forward, improving AT&C losses is important but will not suffice. We need to be complete overhaul of regulation of electricity companies and their deliverables. Much of the inefficiency is tolerated in the name of poor, but they do not get quality supply. Okay. So inefficiency, we know that in rural areas there is a lot of inefficiency. At the same time, we can say that the poor people are given free electricity at subsidized rate, we can say that. However, the quality of supply is not good. We need to apply common sense metrics of lifeline electricity supply instead of political dole-out of free electricity, even for those who may not deserve such support. For the rest, regulators must allow cost covering tariffs. So basically, regulatory authorities, or those who are responsible for deciding the cost, let's say electricity tariffs, they should be, let's say, rational in deciding these tariffs, power tariffs, and therefore they are saying that they must allow cost covering tariffs for remaining people. Fine. So these are the inputs that we should understand here. Issues and challenges. Question: improving AT&C losses is important but will not be sufficient. We need a complete overhaul of regulation. Discuss with reference to present health of DISCOMs in India. So this is expected question always. What are the issues that are related to DISCOMs and their working? So यहाँ से हमने input लेना है उसके लिए. Second article on page number 7, OPED, International Relations, India's outreach to Myanmar. And the article is discussing the bilateral relations between India and Myanmar, and the context here is recently India's army head visited Myanmar for certain reasons, and therefore the article is there. So recent visit of Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla and Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Naravne to Myanmar reflected India's multidimensional interest in the country and deepening of ties between India and Naypyidaw. Naypyidaw मतलब जो capital है म्यांमार का. The visit underscored two lines of thinking that drive India's Myanmar policy. This is important. Engagement with political actors, this is first, and balancing the neighbors. This is second. Basically, it is directed towards China. So, non-interference in internal politics, this is the policy that we follow in our neighboring countries and including Myanmar. The political logic that has shaped India's Myanmar policy since 1990s has been to support democratization driven from within the country, not externally. This has allowed Delhi to engage within the military, with the military. Also, it has enabled Delhi to work with the party in power. Okay, India and few Asian countries have engaged Myanmar, keeping in mind the need to reintegrate it with the region and the world. So basically, because of military rule, there has been no engagement of Myanmar with the rest of the world, and therefore, with increasing democratization, there will be more reintegration of Myanmar with the region. So region कौन सा है? जैसे साउथ एशिया भी है और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया भी है. So yes, at the same time in the world level. Recent initiatives taken by the India, the inauguration of liaison office of the Embassy of India in Naypyidaw may be seen as diplomatic routine activity. However, establishing a permanent presence in the capital where only few countries have set up such offices does matter. India has also proposed to build the petroleum refinery in Myanmar that would involve investment of $6 billion. Okay, this shows the competitive dynamics with China in the sector. At the same time, indication of Myanmar's growing significance in India's strategic calculus, particularly in energy security. Okay, so energy security is important aspect of strategic relationships, and therefore India is indicating that Myanmar has important place in that let's say mix. Another area of cooperation that has expanded involves border areas. The joint visit reiterated mutual commitment not to allow respective territories to be used for activities inimical to each other. So yes, this is again important development. Both countries have been collaborating in the development of border areas with the understanding that it is the best guarantee to secure their borders. So what are the issues at the Myanmar border? We know that drugs, arms smuggling, and then another important aspect here is insurgency. Okay, so yes, insurgency is important problem, we can say that, to be tackled in northeast India, and that too is from let's say across the Myanmar border. That has been the problem in past, but it has reduced a lot because of this joint work along the border by both countries, not to allow let's say territories, respective territories to be used for such activities. Fine. Rohingya issue for Delhi and balancing the balancing act between Bangladesh and Myanmar remains one of the key to its overall approach to the Rohingya issue. ठीक है, तो दोनों को बैलेंस करना है उनको यहाँ पे, और इंडिया हैज बीन सक्सेसफुल इन दैट. Delhi has reiterated its support for ensuring safe, sustainable, speedy return of displaced person to Myanmar. Okay, for Delhi, engaging rather than criticizing is the most practical approach to finding the solution to Rohingya issue. ठीक है, so though we know that the world has been criticizing only and not working towards finding the solution, India should focus on finding the solution rather than criticizing Myanmar for the issue of Rohingyas. Conclusion, Delhi's political engagement and diplomatic balancing seems to have worked so far in the ties with Myanmar. For India, Myanmar is key in linking South Asia to Southeast Asia, and the eastern periphery becomes the focal point for New Delhi's regional outreach. Okay, so this is a very good statement in the end for the conclusion. So question for mains examination GS2 IR, explain the significance for India of having good relations with Myanmar. What are the steps taken in this direction or let's say by the government of India in strengthening India-Myanmar bilateral relationship? So you can mention these three. Along with them, you can mention some old, let's say, important initiatives like Mekong Ganga cooperation, Second, you can mention here is that India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway. Okay, and you can add like development of Sitwe port has been let's say investment in that. India has been focusing on that aspect also. Okay, so infrastructure development and let's say cultural aspect or people to people contact. So this is the for the cultural and economic aspect, Mekong Ganga cooperation, India, Myanmar, Thailand infrastructure, Sitwe port we can say infrastructure. Add these to these recent initiatives, 5 to 6 important initiatives. Fine. So basically we can say that Myanmar is important let's say connecting link with Southeast Asia or our Act East policy. Okay. Yes. So next article, important development again in international relations. India US signed this BECA what you can say agreement with US. India signed this agreement in this 2+2 ministerial level talks. So here US to support India's defense of territories. Yes. So United States will support India to defend its territorial sovereignty and liberty, US Secretary of State Pompeo said. Okay, the observations about the threats to Indian sovereignty came as New Delhi announced the signing of Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement on Geospatial Cooperation (BECA) with US. So yesterday itself we had discussed all 4 foundational defense foundational agreements with US that India has signed. तो उसके बारे में हम डिटेल में अभी नहीं जाएंगे. Yes, yesterday's The Hindu newspaper. Okay. BECA enables exchange of geospatial data and information between 2 countries, and it will improve the accuracy of India's missiles in future during, let's say, precision strikes. Apart from BECA, India and US also sealed an MOU on technical cooperation on Earth observation and Earth sciences, and an agreement to extend duration of MOU regarding the Global Center for Nuclear Energy Partnership. So these are the additional. Along with that, 2 sides also signed an agreement on electronic exchange of customs data and letter of intent regarding cooperation in traditional Indian medicines. ये 4 जो है additional हमने sign किए हुए. 2 sides also decided to expand joint capacity building activities with partner countries in Indo-Pacific. At the same time, for let's say development in Afghanistan, 2 sides discussed the status of Afghanistan and supported Afghan-led, Afghan-owned peace process. So we can say that our stand in Afghan development or peace process is Afghan-led, Afghan peace owned peace process, and US supports that. Fine. So these are the developments in international relations. Now outsiders can buy land in J&K, Jammu Kashmir. So yes, what the article, the new rules are saying that people including investors outside Jammu and Kashmir can now purchase land in Union Territory as center notified new land laws for the region ending the exclusive rights enjoyed by the local population over land under now diluted Article 370. Okay, so under the new J&K Development Act, the center has omitted the term permanent resident of India. Resident of state. So what the provisions of let's say new law are saying, some features of the law. The new law end the exclusive rights of permanent residents over the land in Union Territory like earlier. People including investors outside J&K can purchase land now. There will be bar though on agriculture land to be used for non-agriculture purpose. Land can be transferred in favor of person or an institution for the purpose of promotion of health care or senior secondary or higher or specialized education. Okay, that can be transferred. An army officer not below rank of corps commander can declare an area as strategic area for operational and training requirements of the armed forces. So these are some important features of, we can say, that new law. Fine. Okay, important captions and quotations. For Myanmar, for India, Myanmar is key linking from to South Asia to Southeast Asia. So this is important, let's say, statement. We can say that significance of Myanmar for India. So these were the important articles for today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of mains related articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.